is a particular kind of silence that settles over small towns, not peaceful, not still, waiting. Mill Haven, Connecticut had 4,200 residents, 4 diners, 1 hospital, and for 11 months, a killer nobody believed in. The first body was found on a Tuesday, which feels important somehow. Mondays carry drama. Fridays carry relief. But Tuesday is the day the world stops paying attention. And someone knew that. Her name was Claire Alderton, 31. A librarian with a habit of leaving sticky notes on return books. Little compliments to strangers she'd never meet. This chapter made me cry too. The ending is worth it, I promise. When they found her, she was posed. Not carelessly discarded, posed. Hands folded, eyes closed, hair smoothed back from her face as if someone had taken their time, their patience, their strange and terrible tenderness. Detective Ruth Kane stood over the scene for a long time without speaking, because she already understood something that would take the rest of the department weeks to accept. This wasn't a first. What the neighbors always say. Tension. Here is what the neighbor said. He was so quiet, so polite. He kept to himself. They always say that, don't they? As if quietness is innocence. As if a man who waves from his porch and never raises his voice could not possibly be building something monstrous behind his eyes. His name, the name we now know, was Daniel Marsh, 43 years old, an accountant, divorced, no children. He coached a youth soccer team on Saturday mornings and donated to the food drive every November without fail. He was, by every visible measure, a man who had learned to perform normalcy with the precision of a surgeon. The forensic psychiatrists will tell you about the triad. The childhood fractures, the absence of a particular kind of mirror. Someone who reflects your pain back to you and says, "This matters. You matter. Stop." Daniel Marsh never had that mirror. What he had instead was a journal. And in that journal, recovered months later from beneath a loose board in his home office, was a sentence that stopped the entire investigative team cold. I don't hate them. I find them interesting. The way a collector finds things interesting. The shape of a pattern. Tension. Detective Ruth Kane was not supposed to see it. The Alderton case had been quietly reassigned. Pressure from above. A department that preferred a clean story over a complicated truth. But Ruth had a habit she couldn't shake. She printed crime scene photographs and pinned them to the inside of her closet door. At 2 a.m. on a sleepless Wednesday, she saw it. The angle of the hands, the particular tilt of the head. She had seen it before, not in Mill Haven, but in Greer County 4 years ago. A cold case. Ruled an accident. A woman named Patricia Wu found in a park, positioned with that same eerie serenity. Ruth pulled the files, then she pulled older files. Then she drove 4 hours to a records office that smelled of mildew and regret. And she found what she should not have been able to find. 6 women, 5 years, 3 states. And in every single case, tucked into the official record like an afterthought, a note from the first responding officer. Victim appeared undisturbed. Undisturbed. As if the word could hold something so precise, so deliberate, so breathtakingly controlled, without shattering under the weight of what it actually meant. Daniel Marsh had been moving. Accounting contracts took him city to city, county to county. He was, on paper, a man with no fixed attachment. In reality, he was a man who had learned that rootlessness was the most effective camouflage of all. Ruth stared at the map she had drawn on her kitchen table, red pins across 5 states, and felt the particular cold that has nothing to do with temperature. He was already in Millhaven, and she did not yet know his name. Tuesday, again. Tension. Have you ever had the feeling of being watched, not by a presence you can point to, but by an absence? A shape of attention without a body attached to it. That is what the women of Millhaven described months later, when journalists came to collect their stories. Not fear exactly, more like a pressure, a sense that the air in the room had shifted in a way they couldn't name. Daniel Marsh had selected his next subject with the patience of someone who did not believe in hurry. He had watched her for 6 weeks. He knew the route she jogged each morning. He knew she kept her phone in her jacket's left pocket. He knew she trusted people who made eye contact because she had been taught as a child that confidence was kindness. What she could not have known, what none of us can know, is that the most dangerous people are not the ones who look dangerous. They are the ones who have spent years studying how not to. Ruth's phone rang at 5:47 a.m. She was already awake. She already knew what the voice on the other end was going to say, and the knowing did not make it easier. It made it worse, because knowledge without power is its own kind of violence. But here is where the story shifts. Because this time, unlike the 6 times before, Daniel Marsh had made a mistake. Not a dramatic one, not a cinematic slip. A small, almost invisible error that most investigators would have walked past without a second glance. He had parked his car on the street outside Patricia Harlow's building 3 mornings in a row. And on the 3rd morning, a retired postal worker named Gerald Osee, a man who walked his dog at 5 a.m. because his body had forgotten how to sleep past it, had noted the plate number in his phone, the way he noted everything. Because attention was the only thing insomnia had ever given him. Gerald Osee, the man the case file will forever forget to mention properly, the man who actually stopped it. What we carry out of the dark. Tension. Daniel Marsh was arrested on a Thursday morning. He came to the door in a cardigan. He offered the officers coffee. He was, to the very last moment, performing. At his arraignment, he said nothing. But those who were there, who watched his face as the charges were read aloud, described the same expression. Not grief, not rage, not even fear. Curiosity, as if this too were simply an interesting development. Ruth Kane sat in the back of the courtroom and did not feel the relief everyone told her she should feel, because the case, even closed, even convicted, left a residue she couldn't wash off. The knowledge that he had been among them for years, that he had coached their children, that he had smiled at the food drive table, and no one, not one person, had felt the wrongness of it. What does that say about the distance between who we appear to be and who we are? What does it say about the stories we tell ourselves about the people we think we know? In the end, the forensic team found 41 journals, 41 volumes of careful, methodical observation, written in a hand so neat it looked typeset. The journals were not confessions. They were not remorse. They were, in their way, the most chilling thing imaginable. They read like field notes, calm, precise, almost tender, as if the world and everyone in it were simply specimens to be collected, studied, and set aside. The last entry, written the night before Gerald Osee made his call, was a single line. I wonder if they'll ever understand that I was paying attention to them all along.
If you want this type videos, subscribe our channel.